Biraz ağrısı kullanmaya işte çeşitli That's on video, is it? Mike's to know. Oh, yeah? Okay. It's coming up. Right. Great. Yep.
So that's the knowledge of job research after listening to me for being part of the event. And there's a lot of minutes also supplying Jimmy White, so we'll get on with it very quickly. First, I'll introduce myself. My name is John Williamson. I'm principal here in College Durham. I'm very pleased to invite you all here this evening. I'm particularly pleased, for those of you who are for the first time, to visit the college. You can see it's not quite our best in the dark and our students, but hopefully we find it an interesting and a welcoming place.
I'm particularly to welcome you here for the first event in this year's Lumiere Festival. It's a great artistic endeavour, but from the college's perspective, it also reflects what we think makes Durham such a great city. People who pass through the college year in, year out. First of all, it provides a link with that great historical past that's very obvious and the thing that people first think of when they think of Durham. But secondly, I think because of the artistic endeavour that goes into it, it makes that link back to what made Durham, again, the great cultural centre that it was and it still is and will become even greater in the future. But also links that legacy of skills, about not just making things, but making things happen. So I'm particularly pleased that Lumiere brings that all together, and from the college's perspective, working largely in the city and the county of Durham, it gives them an opportunity to demonstrate those skills they acquire at the college. So the food you've eaten tonight, the service has been provided by college students, the photography is being done by college students, and we know that as the festival unfolds, more and more of our students are actually going to be involved in a variety of roles, helping to support their city and helping to make a success of the festival this year. I'm even more pleased actually that one of our students, Amy Welch, who's around this evening, will actually have one of her installations exhibited this year. So that's really great. And I know that some of our technical students working on things like electrical installation are going to have the opportunity to see how great creative vision, great artistic endeavour really is made to happen by great technical skills. And that's the great thing to me about Lumiere. It brings together all those skills. It's really about not just a partnership of individuals, but bringing together knowledge, skill, and organisation to make something really special happen. So, on behalf of the college, welcome again. We're really pleased to participate in Lumiere. And just to illustrate that partnership, we have a range of people now who are going to share with you their thoughts about Lumiere and their expectations of what's going to be a really great festival. And the first of those is Councillor Simon Hennig. Simon is leader of Durham County Council. So I'm going to hand over to Simon, who will just say a few words and then start the proceedings going properly. Simon.
John, thank you very much for those introductory words. Thanks to everyone at New College, the students. Thanks also to Durham Gin for the reception. And thank you everyone for joining us on another wonderful occasion as we look forward to the launch of Lumiere. It is always a great pleasure to reveal the programme for the UK's largest light festival. And it's all the more special for us as we know Durham was the birthplace of Lumiere, born here in 2009. And it's now the 5th time that Lumiere's returns to Durham, which is fantastic. I'm sure you won't be disappointed when in a few minutes' time Helen comes up and tells us something about the programme this year. But it's also important to underline why this is so important for Durham. And so I'll just spend a little bit of time talking about some of the fantastic things which Lumiere helps bring to us in Durham. So first, it is world class. Durham shines bright on a global scale. Images are beamed all over the world to many people who otherwise wouldn't have everything we have to offer. Second, it changes perceptions. People literally see Durham in a new light. Third, it illuminates our history and heritage in a unique way. We learn more about where we live and work, helping us become ambassadors for our fantastic county. Fourth, it touches the lives of hundreds of people of all ages and backgrounds through community outreach programs and providing them the chance to work with professional artists to become part of the festival. One of the fantastic parts of Lumiere has been the numbers of people who have worked with artists on different installations. More than 2,000 local people last time and hundreds more this time involved in works that we'll be hearing more about. Fifth, Lumiere provides a tremendous economic boost to local business. 2 years ago in 2015, 200,000 people attended over the 4 nights. The festival was estimated to be worth almost 10 million to Durham and the surrounding area in terms of economic boost. Finally, Lumiere puts a smile on people's faces, and there's no price that you can put on that. So those are just a few of the reasons why it's fantastic for us, and we're so proud to host Lumiere, that we're the birthplace of Lumiere, and that it's become now known as the UK's largest light festival. It is a highlight not only of our own cultural calendar and that of the region, but of the country as well. Even with the help that, of course, the County Council puts into Lumiere, it couldn't happen without the support of the business community. Many of you are here tonight, and I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's been involved as sponsors, partners, for your help. As we all know, although Lumiere may be on for a few nights, the work that goes into it is all year round, and a tremendous amount goes into it each time. So we're very thankful to everybody who has helped in any way in terms of the putting on of Lumiere, which is such a fantastic advert for Durham. With that, I'm very pleased to introduce Sarah Coop, the Development Director for Artichoke, who will tell you more.
Thank you. Whoa, that's a bit bright. Good evening, my name is Sarah Coop and I'm the Development Director at Artichoke. My responsibility is to raise the money for Lumiere and for all our other projects. So I just want to start by thanking New College Durham for kindly hosting this reception tonight. New College Durham have actually put cash into Lumiere. They're a cash sponsor, and cash is king, we always say. So we're delighted about that, but this has actually become a real partnership. So I want to thank John and his colleagues, Peter, Dawn, Craig, all the lecturers, and mostly all the students. If you've experienced tonight, we've had the tourism students greeting us. We've had the music students as photographers, the media students, and most importantly, the catering students who have done such a good job. So thank you very much. It's really, really great to be here, and thank you for all the help and support you're going to give us throughout Lumiere. Tonight we're here for Artichoke to say thank you to you, because during Lumiere we're just far too busy to do anything. But this festival would not be put on without the help of our sponsors. We've got about 70 sponsors, and this wouldn't be possible without the great work that our development board does. So the development board is chaired by Alan Cook, who's standing here, and we have about 10 members of the business community of Durham who help us with introductions, inside knowledge. They know what's going on, who we should be talking to. And we have a budget of £2 million to raise for this festival, which really, really wouldn't happen without the development board. So thank you all. Some of you are here. Thank you very much indeed. Of course, we want to thank the Arts Council for their ongoing support, and also Durham County Council, who, again, put a huge amount of cash in, but are also real partners. And we really enjoy being here and working with you all. We have sponsors who come back year after year, and I want to thank them for their continuing support, from Arlington to SevCon to the Durham Business Association. And then we have 20 new sponsors who've come on board this year. So if we can get 20 new sponsors every year, that would be really great, and we'd be really doing our job. So thank you very much, all of you. And special thank you to Durham Distillery, for John, who's provided these delicious cocktails, which we're all going to be drinking throughout Lumiere. So now the part that you've all been waiting for, Helen Marriage is going to give you all, as our very special VIP guest, a sneak preview of what she's got in store for us all during Lumiere. So thank you very much, and thank you for coming tonight.
Good evening. Oh, good evening, that's better. I'm Helen Marriage, I'm Director of Artichoke, and it's Artichoke that produces Lumiere Durham. It's a big team working throughout the 2-year period to put the thing together. We quite often get asked what we do the rest of the time, and I think it's very understandable that people somehow think that the lights just switch on like you might switch on the lights at home. But in fact, Lumiere Durham takes 18, 19 months of planning, permissions, logistics, artist visits. They come, they're inspired always by the city, by its architecture, by the way the countryside bleeds down into the urban realm, and mostly by the people, the extraordinary welcome that our artists are given, where people, instead of saying, oh no, I don't think so, say, how can we help you? What do you need? How can we turn ourselves inside out in order to make this amazing event even more extraordinary? We've got, you're all familiar with this map, your home, your town. We've got 29 installations in this year's festival, and we're using sites as diverse as the old Miners' Hall up by the viaduct, through down to the Botanical Gardens, where we haven't been since the first festival in 2009. We wouldn't exist, as Sarah says, without the support from the business community, the Arts Council, the County Council, but also there's a huge tribute to be paid to all of those people who simply say yes. When we turn up and say, can we project onto your building, by the way, you might need to draw the curtains every night from 4 till 11, or might we just suspend parking outside your house because actually we need to bring in a truck or whatever. There's a general consensus in this city, which is unique, I think. I've never experienced it in the very long time I've been working in the arts, where people are minded to help. So the map shows you the different areas where we're working, and I'm about to show you what we're about to do. Lumiere has become an international festival. It's renowned throughout the world, in the world of lighting, lighting design, lighting art. And this year is no exception. We've got artists from all over the world coming here to Durham. prize, not anyone who was there this morning when we did the press launch. There's a prize for anybody who can name this installation. No? No takers? White line is indeed the truth. How clever are you? This is a wonderful piece by an artist, American artist called Adam Fralin, and this white line is going to be suspended across the river, viewed from Prebens Bridge as if he's drawn in light between the trees on that beautiful bend as the river turns round. Fresh from Bari in the southern tip of Italy, the Luminari di Cagna, sponsored by Thorn, who are going to brighten up the marketplace and Sadler and Silver Street with this wonderful LED installation, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of tiny lights, which will, I'm sure everybody will say, couldn't it stay for Christmas? But unfortunately, our Italian friends are on their way elsewhere. This installation, sponsored by Prince Bishop's, by Daniel Iregui, is from Montreal in Canada, and will be sitting in the Prince Bishop's shopping centre. It's an interactive installation, so when you go near it and touch it, the lighting will all change to reflect your input. And this lovely thing by Ralph Westerhoff, which is as if a child has drawn a world, so it has everything you need for a town. Developers, please note, you have a house where people are always dancing, you have a bicycle, you have a tree and a taxi, and this revolves around like a giant mobile and will float above the river, entertaining people as it goes. This amazing half-mile long installation is by the Finnish artist Kari Kola. Kari is on a project to illuminate all the World Heritage sites across the world, and so Durham has been added to his list, and he'll be illuminating the treescape along the ground, along the side of the peninsula, just down below the cathedral. Whose installation is sponsored by Alumno and the Polish Institute, and this will be in the college, the grounds behind the cathedral, where this horizontal interference, these lines of light, will thread their way between the trees. Ivo Schoeps, also from the Netherlands, is a special for us. This is going into the, what you might call the demolition area that is currently Milburn Gate, courtesy of Arlington. It's a fire tornado, and at every few minutes it illuminates and the fire spirals up round and then descends. Because so much of Durham is under construction at the moment, we didn't want to pretend that that wasn't the case. We wanted to actually program appropriate work into those sites, and very kindly Alan Cook has allowed us into the Milburn Gate area. This is Colour by Light, which will go into North Road. This is a graffiti project where when you walk down the road, it'll appear as if nothing's there. The minute you take out your torch or your phone even with a light on it, you can draw on the ground and lines of colour will illuminate. We've programmed this before elsewhere, and we just know that it's one of the most popular things as people themselves become graffiti artists. This, also from Finland, is a piece called Anonymous. This is going into Walkergate, sponsored by Walkergate, and is a wonderful interactive installation where you, if you're an exhibitionist, unlike me, hates public speaking, that you would stand in this little booth down below, and then on the wall of Walkergate, as you've seen as you come up where it says Gala Theatre, your image is projected in this ghostly form and your voice is transformed, so you can perform, but you can do it anonymously because it's all transformed. It won't be a picture of you speaking, it'll be a sort of mixed and muddled up version of you. Every year we program a spectacular work on Durham Cathedral. This is the first year that we've decided to work with an artist who wants to turn the cathedral itself into the artwork. So instead of using it simply as a blank canvas onto which we can project images, Pablo Valbuena from Spain has chosen to work with the centuries-old traditions of bell ringing, and we're here working with Christopher Crabtree and his wife Ellen, the dean and chapter, all of those involved in the cathedral, in what is truly a partnership between the cathedral, the university where Christopher works in the engineering department, and our international artist. It'll be really different from anything we've done with the cathedral before, and what you'll see is we won't see them because they're up in the belfry, but teams of bell ringers will ring live, and each pull of the bell rope will illuminate a light down below. So for 7 hours, our bell ringers are going to be effectively composing a piece with the building, and the building will light up and reflect all the patterns, the change ringing which is going on above. Technically, really ambitious. It's one of the pieces that we're most excited about in terms of a new departure for the festival. From Canada, Rami Babawi's Entre les Reins, which is coming into the cloisters of Durham Cathedral. Each one of these lights reflects light, and is a piece that we're developing with communities in Chesterley Street. We're working with those who perhaps have not to be very public about their lives. So we're working with veterans, women, victims of domestic violence, refugee communities, and others, to create in them the desire and the aspiration to see that they can themselves make things happen. They're going to both work on the installation and help us install it. There are 15,000 of these going into the cloisters, and they're going to help us and then manage the project itself. We never forget our British artists. This is an amazing piece by Schuster and Mosley, a duo based down in London, who are celebrating two things that are particular here to the northeast, one of which is the great work done in the Institute of Computational Cosmology, working with Carlos Frank, Richard Bauer and their colleagues to recreate in hand-blown glass fragments an image of the cosmos. So there are going to be 2,000 of these pieces, which are being made in association with the Sunderland Glass Centre, and students there are working with the artists to suspend all of these pieces. This is going to be in St Oswald's Church. We've never worked inside the church before. Church have been fantastically welcoming. And people will be able to wander through and see the lights permeating this incredible installation. Milburn Gate, again, are helping us to illuminate one of Durham's most iconic monuments, if you like, the working viaduct that brings the trains into the city. And this is going to be lit by Vicky Hay. Again, working with the physicists up at the university, artists Nina Dunn and John Del Nero are creating a piece which celebrates the incredible architectural achievement of Daniel Libeskind's building for the ICC, the Ogden Center for Fundamental Physics. They're creating a piece which I was looking at some renderings of this morning. It's really going to be amazing because what they're doing is illuminating the architecture, but then revealing the incredible physics that goes on inside it. So it'll look as if the whole world, the whole universe is contained within the building. It's one of the most exciting things that we're doing, courtesy of Durham University, who sponsored it, and Durham County Council. Simeon Nelson and colleagues from universities of Oxford, Hertford, University College London and Durham is making a piece supported by the Wellcome Foundation, and that is going to be sited in Crown Court Gardens, and it's an exploration, if you can imagine, of scale. Sounds boring, is really not. So the thesis is that on the tiniest nanoscale, the tiniest, minutest subatomic bit of you has the same structural pattern as the largest galaxy in the universe, that this is the same. And this amazing structure which is being built for us will reveal those changing patterns and structures. This is supported by the Wellcome Foundation, who is one of the examples of an institution outside the city or outside the county contributing to the festival and putting a substantial amount of money into creating an artwork, which also has a big educational project. 14 schools across the county are collaborating with Durham University science outreach personnel to learn about physics, the astrophysics, the cosmos, all of that. This is a piece which is going to the Botanic Gardens. This is called For the Birds, and is a beautiful installation which is a collective of artists who are each making individual installations which will form a trail through the gardens. After dark, and assuming it's not raining, it'll be a really magical, extraordinary journey through Durham University's Botanic Gardens, each one having a sound and light element that explores some aspect of birds, bird life, bird song, and reveals the incredible tree life that exists over in Durham, courtesy of Mike, who I think is here tonight. Again, children are involved in this. There's a schools project going on courtesy of Children and the Arts, where kids are working with our artists and others to explore all the aspects of this in terms of environment and ecology. Shimmer, a lovely quiet piece, cymbals clashing overhead as you walk across Prebend's Bridge. As you come off the peninsula, to the left you'll see Adam Fralin's White Line, to the right you'll see Carrie Kohler's illumination of the treescape, and as you cross over, this beautiful soundscape will be echoing overhead. Illumifomion, sponsored by Walkergate, is an interactive piece. It's like giant illuminated chime bars. Whack them and they light up. And here are some of our more detailed, in-depth community projects. As Simon said, the work doesn't exist only for the 4 days. We're here for months and months beforehand, afterwards, always working to try and make the festival somehow reflect the life of the community, its history, its social aspirations, all of those things. So here we have Cirque Bijou, a British-based circus company, who are working with 30 local residents from the East Durham area through East Durham Creates. They're going to be trained in flash mob choreography. So you might not know where they're going to be or where they might pop up, but standing in a crowd looking like absolutely ordinary punters, suddenly they'll break out their umbrellas and do some beautiful choreographic movement and then move on to somewhere else. So they're like our sort of amazing kind of hit squad of local people who are actually performing in the festival. A piece by Walter and Zoe Neal, and this is going into Millennium Place, and it's a collaboration with the Durham Sixth Form Centre, who are both starring in it, making the props and staffing all the environment around it. So you'll see the students from the Sixth Form Centre, with whom we have a long-standing relationship, creating this really amazing avant-garde artwork. Bring your iPhones if you have them, because you can make the piece happen. This is a lovely piece called Our Moon. It really is our moon, our meaning Durham's. Hannah Fox, with some of the 66 people who volunteered to come and help us make this installation. As you can see, she's got a brilliant way of animating other people's imaginations. She mapped their faces by, how to describe, by putting little electronic spots on their faces and then told them a story. And as they smiled or laughed or got sad or whatever they did, she filmed their images. So the moon that you see here, which will be projected high up above the city off the castle as you come in over Frammelgate Bridge, smiling down on people as they go, will be reflective of those people's faces. It's their moon because it's their faces looking down as the audience come in. And Hannah's project is supported by EMG solicitors and Durham City AAP, who helped us recruit those 66 people. I have to say 16 from one single family, from babies to grandparents, all came to be part of Lumiere Durham. This piece, for any of you who saw the piece on Hawthorne Terrace last year by the artist Shared Space and Light, you'll be really looking forward to this piece. This is a piece that we've made with those artists and with the community of Durham who are public servants. So we've worked with fire, police, ambulance, nurses, teachers, mountain rescue, including my favorite in the corner at the bottom, Scrappy, the mountain rescue dog. They all came in to be filmed, to tell their stories, to talk about why they love this community and why they do what they do. And they will be projected back onto what you see behind, which is the amazing Durham Miners Hall. Not a place necessarily that anybody visits, certainly not during Lumiere. So for us, it's a new development, a new destination, but one that is so beautiful and so part of Durham's history that we wanted to showcase it in the best way we could, which is through the people themselves. A commitment to developing creativity throughout the county. So every year we have a commissioning program called Brilliant, where we invite artists or others, anyone with a brilliant idea that involves light, to come and present an idea. We had, I think, 120 submissions this time, from which we've chosen 4 or 5. Amy Welch, mentioned earlier, is here tonight. She's one of the winners. I can show you a drawing of her work. So these 4, this is Aidan Mosby, who's anyone who did chemistry. Anyone did chemistry? Will know that this is the periodic table, except our periodic table is slightly different. It has all the emotions that you might go through in a normal lifetime, from anger and frustration to love, desire, and all kinds of other unmentionable things. So this is an interactive piece. So all of you who are keen on Twitter should use the Lumiere Durham hashtag. And as you text out your 140 characters, if you use any of these words, wherever you are in the city, this installation will light up. So we're assuming that everyone is going to be going, gorgeous, 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 lovely, lovely, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And we're hoping they're not going to say frustrated, angry, frustrated, angry. Influence this by the positivity. And it's a wonderful way of us taking the emotional temperature of the city during the festival. This is another one of our brilliant winners, Chris Plant, who's created an installation which is going into, this is my test, is going into Castle Chair. Who knows where that is? Oh, I love it. Local Durham residents. So it's the road that leads up to the church called St Godric's. As you cross over the road from the station, if you turn right, you go up that way. And this installation is going into the walls there. Emma Boyes' installation is going into the railway station, sponsored by Virgin, and it's a panorama of great northeastern sites that you might see, all made of cutouts that are illuminated, so the shadows behind create these incredible installations. People can see their destination in miniature across the station. Finola Finn, who has created an oracle in the Count's House. I'm not going to test you on where the Count's House is, because I know you all know that it's at the end of the peninsula as you walk on the cathedral side. This pulsing heart is the pulsing heart of Durham, and know thyself will be written into the pediment above. Amy's piece, Amy, who's been working here as a BA student at New College Durham and is in her 3rd year, has been working with Perspex and light and entered the competition, the brilliant competition, when she was told by a tutor here that it was open to everyone, and has been selected as one of our winners. So we're really proud to have Amy here tonight and for that association with New College to continue. Permanent works that we're doing, which are sponsored by the Banks Foundation. This is Lichtbench by Bernd Speicher, which is, as any of you will know who've been in Durham after dark, permanently installed on the site of the old ice rink where the new passport office is, Freeman's Quay. And again, Banks are really kindly sponsoring the installation of a permanent work which reflects the life of the community and the natural world in which we live. So this illuminated heron will fly forever above the river down on the Freeman's Quay site. And I started off by saying that Lumiere was an international festival. We're really proud, and I think the County Council are also enormously proud to be hosting Lucy, the Lighting Urban Community International Conference. This is a conference which tours the world, going to cities that are really committed to and are thinking about lighting, whether that's urban lighting, World Heritage lighting, lighting festivals, the whole way in which light can influence in a positive way people's lives. If I tell you that the last conference was held in Seoul in Korea, before that in Gothenburg in Sweden, it's a real honor for Durham to be hosting this event, and it's a measure of how important Durham has become in the international lighting world that the conference is coming here the week of Lumiere. And then there's our own conference, which we do every year. We examine issues around art, political thinking, social thinking. This year, Who Are We and Where Are We Headed will be held on Friday, November the 17th at the Gala Theatre. We have great speakers, including the Dean of Durham, who's here tonight, I know, and the Vice-Chancellor of the University, as well as an international roster of artists coming from, for instance, the Hadron Collider, the CERN experimental station, artists working with children in Senegal, really the most incredible array of people who have something to say about who we are and where we might be headed. I think we all know who we are. We're this amazing community who have joined together to make Lumiere Durham one of the most important in our country's cultural calendar. We were told at a scenario planning day the other day that it's the biggest event happening in November in the UK. And that is an extraordinary thing to have happened over this brief 8-year period. Not possible without all of you. And also I'd like to pay tribute to the Artichoke team who worked so hard to make it happen. But really it's about you, your community and your support. And without that, there would be no Lumiere Durham. So thank you and your support. And I hope that in a few weeks' time, we're all there to raise a glass of Durham gin to say, hooray for Lumiere Durham. Thank you.